Hello, I just wanted to say a big thank you to all of you for helping me achieve becoming a War Thunder partner. Now, it has been quite a long journey. 3 months has been quite a while. Although, yeah, I cannot thank you guys enough. Truly, it has been incredible. Thanks to your support, it has managed to get me this nice little bundle Gaijin have sent me. So thank you to Gaijin as well. Moving forward with the channel, yeah, I'm aiming to provide a lot more content on different vehicles now. I have access to this amazing program. Right, I suppose I should answer the Q&A questions. Now, there wasn't a whole lot of them, so this video shouldn't be too long. But let's take a look at them anyway, and I will try and answer them to my best. So I'm going to put these two questions into one, since they are practically the same question, from Generic Reacts and Oreo MF4XW. What is your favourite vehicle in the game? Now, if we are talking about tanks, then it has to be the T-80 BVM for me. The speed and mobility of the tank is ridiculous. T-80 BVM being the top tier tank for Russia. While it doesn't have the great reverse speed or reload rate compared to other top tier tanks and MBTs, the armor makes up for it, as you can easily wipe out opponents who fail to hit you while you're driving at full speed. But if we're talking about favorite aircraft, probably has to go to the Harrier GR1. I know in game it's not the best anymore. But at the time, it was ridiculous and overpowered when it got released, and that pretty much got me all the way through the British air tree. The aircraft itself just looks really cool, though, especially the fact that it had VTOL as well. Imagine being back then and seeing an aircraft that can just hover for the late 1960s. Absolutely stunning achievement. Now, I know with the BVM as well, a lot of people talk about how it is not a great MBT or top tier, as it pretty much shares the same weaknesses with every other T-Series tank, such as the driver's port and the lower front plate of the tank, which can just get you one-tapped. But I don't know if it's just the teams that I come across, but I mean, I got a nuke in it the other day because people just couldn't seem to kill me or didn't know where to shoot me. Maybe I'm gonna shift this blame onto the American mains, but yeah, I love this tank. It's just, yeah, very fun tank to use. Young Eagle 3629 asks, why did I choose the name LordSalt? To answer that, it's actually pretty simple. I just kind of came up with it on the spot many years ago when I was a kid, and it just kind of stuck at the time. It's back when I was playing on the Xbox 360. I used to call people salty when I was playing games like Halo Reach and killing my enemies. And I was like, oh, Salt. I was like, why don't I just call myself, at the time, Salt Lord? And then I just kind of switched the name around and went with Lord Salt instead. So, yeah, pretty simple answer. Not really much to it. No background lore or anything like that. That's how I came across this name anyway. Peter GWP asks, what's your top 3 tech tree, regardless of their grind and what it was like at the start? As of right now in War Thunder, I've played 3 of the main nations, starting with the UK, because I wanted to play the Spitfires, and for tanks, I really enjoyed playing the Comet 1 and the Churchill tanks. Company of Heroes was one of my most played games a few years back, before my War Thunder addiction truly took over. I'm also from the UK myself, so I felt compelled to play my own nation at first. I suppose Americans would probably play the USA first, but maybe I'm just getting ahead of myself there. Maybe you just wanted to play a different nation, but still. My top 3 nations would have to be USA, Germany, and USSR. The USA is very fun to play, especially in the earlier ranks, because you get tanks like the T-29 around mid-tier for the US, and you get the M18 Black Cat. Really well armored tanks and really fun to use light armored vehicles. However, when you get towards the top with the US, they do suffer quite significantly. The Abrams tanks just aren't great compared to other nations, and that is where the US truly suffers. But if you're playing the US for air RB right now, you are probably loving life, because the F-15E is probably the best jet in the game right now for War Thunder. The payload it can carry for ground RB is pretty insane, although I've yet to play that jet. I'll probably do it in a future one. For Germany, they probably do have just a great variety of tanks early on and throughout the game in general. I mean, if you're looking to play the iconic World War II vehicles like the Tiger 1, Tiger 2, Panther tanks, all them sort of ones, yeah, Germany is really fun, and probably a really good one for beginners, actually, even though you do suffer in the game as you go through. The Germans just have a really good variety of tanks. German air RB, probably not great. I mean, I've yet to get through the German airstream. Yeah, I have not been enjoying that. Plus, they don't have any viable like jet later on that makes it worth grinding for. As of yet, anyway. Now there is talk about the Typhoon potentially being added in the future, but I was going to say that's all rumors, and we will have to wait and see. Yeah, but when you hit top tier for Germany, you've got the Leopard tanks, and they are just insane when it comes to survivability. You get the Spore liners. The armor on the front is just, for the 2A7 anyway, is just absolutely insane. You can just ricochet a lot of shots, and yeah, tank a lot more than you usually would. And I suppose finally, Russia is probably the most, well, personally, I enjoy Russia, and I think a lot of people do, is, for me anyway, I've said this in quite a few videos, but Russia really suits my playstyle when it comes to this game. I really like being the one who charges and takes the lead, especially when it comes to tanks. Just getting around the map at a really fast pace while having that decent mobility and armor in most cases. I obviously tend to play more towards the top tier, as I've said throughout this video, just because I know a lot of people don't find it fun because of CAS and getting bombed and all that, but there's just something about the speed and just the gameplay loop of just charging, getting a quick succession of kills, and then repeating it again to try and get nukes and stuff like that. Really fun for me. I know people would disagree and say that they prefer the more slow-paced World War II vehicles, which I do enjoy, but just not to the same degree as top tier. Also, Russia is just incredibly overpowered at top tier as of right now anyway. I've still yet to play all the other nations. Like, I am missing out on Japan, China, Italy, France, Sweden, Israel. Yeah, I do want to get around to playing them, and my next one will probably be Japan, as I do have the Type 90B Fuji, so I will be using that to get through the Japanese ground treat. Anyway, that question kind of turned into a long-winded answer as to what my top 3 nations were, but I hope you didn't mind me rambling. I'll get to the next one now. Suckler of the Night asks, what got you into War Thunder? I originally started playing War Thunder back in 2015 after, at the time, I got told it was just a silly plane game where you could just jump straight in, shoot people down, that sort of thing. I did play it for a bit, and I did enjoy it, but I didn't really get into it properly at that time. Little did I know, 3 years later, though, I'd be playing the game non-stop. That's when the grind truly started. I've always been interested in vehicles when it comes to both like real life and fiction. At first, it was my obsession with vehicles in games like Star Wars Empire at War. I don't know if you've ever played that. Really good RTS game. Halo as well. They had lots of like really cool fictional vehicles, which I enjoyed using. Especially in Halo Reach, I would always mess around in Forge World. And for those who haven't played Halo Reach, you are truly missing out on a great story for the campaign and just the game in general. So Forge World was like a sandbox, and you could like just spawn vehicles in, fly around in them. I used to like spawn in the Falcon or the Banshee and stuff like that, just around the map, and create like my own fictional battles in my head, which sounded really sad at the time, but I thought it was really cool as a kid. And then later on, my interest started to lean towards IRL stuff, and I began playing games like, as I've mentioned, Company of Heroes. That really kickstarted my journey into the RTS genre. Playing games like that got me to learn loads of World War II vehicles, like the Tiger, German tanks. History was another big passion of mine. I ended up going to university, gained my degree in that. So I've learned a lot to do with like the historical background of war just as a whole. I find it really interesting. I suppose that connection between like tanks, war, history, kind of all just like sinks into one. Yeah, so I suppose that's where I got drawn into the game, and that is where I am now, many years later, following 2018, and yeah. So, Tactical Retreat Gaming asks, if you could implement or change a mechanic in War Thunder, what would you add or change? A change I would implement into War Thunder would be a variety of game modes. I really do think this game lacks game modes as of right now. Currently, the map only has one, which is for ground RB, capturing and controlling zones. I think it'd be a lot more interesting if they expanded upon the gameplay, and especially like because they did add the World War mode, which has been in the game for ages, but I've never got to participate in it. It'd be really cool if they basically like turned it into a giant map strategy thing, where it's kind of like you're looking at a world map and you've got like 2 opposing teams or whatever, and then I suppose the games you play, you like fight for control over a world map or like a region of a map. Could be fictional or anything, I don't know. Maybe And then you get like rewards depending on the teams and stuff. And like, I don't know, maybe bonus boosters or something like that. I think it'd be a pretty cool game mode that I've just made up on the spot right now. Maybe the addition of infantry to the game. I mean, it doesn't seem really far-fetched right now, considering the April Fool's event Gaijin did at the time, where they tested out infantry. I know Enlisted is there. I have played Enlisted. Really fun game. Yeah, if they did it for War Thunder, they would have to get it right, I suppose. I think one final thing I would change, which has, I've probably said it in quite a lot of videos anyway, over my time making them. Freeze. I hate freeze in War Thunder, and I think they should be removed from the game. That is just a personal grudge of mine. So, yeah, please remove trees. The 8-Bit Brit asks, when will you do a 1,000 kills in the Zippo video? You know, you and I have played in that awful boat, and we couldn't even make it like 5 minutes into the game before being destroyed by a destroyer. So you already know how long that would take me. A long time. Yeah, I'd probably be like 90 before I get that video uploaded. So you know as well as I do, that is not happening. Tatar Gimpera asks, what in your opinion is the most annoying issue in War Thunder that should be resolved in the past but still isn't? I think that's a pretty simple one. CAS has to be one of the most annoying issues in War Thunder. While I do abuse it myself, I feel there should be an option to play ground RB without any form of aircraft, especially in top tier, as demonstrated in my SU-34 video, where you can literally just wipe out an entire team with the KH-38 MT missiles, fire and forget. Yeah, because you literally can't do anything to defend yourself against the most advanced air-to-ground weapons, and the only SPA that can really counter incoming missiles is the Pantsir for Russia. I feel like the US or other nations probably need to get like the equivalent. I know the Patriot missile system for the US is probably like the closest thing they could get into the game that I know of anyway, but they would have to like sort of like turn it into a mobile platform on wheels, which I don't even know if that is a thing or ever will be a thing. Now, I suppose that is pretty much all the questions I've been given. I apologize if I didn't see your question, as I know YouTube does hide the comments sometimes when you do comment and stuff like that. But no, I hope you gained some sort of insight into how I feel about playing this game. I can't thank you guys enough for the support. I probably wouldn't have been carrying on with these sort of videos if it wasn't for you guys. It really does mean a lot to me. But yeah, no, I will see you in the next video. See you later.